This week, we learned the Department of Justice is looking into whether U.S. airlines have been conspiring to keep ticket prices high. The investigation centers around 4 major airlines and the possibility that they were talking to each other about ways to control the number of available seats and thus keep pricing for all of us high. But how did the airlines get to be so big in the first place? Take you back to 1995. We had 9 major airlines for U.S. domestic flights. Then in 2008, the first major merger happened between Delta and Northwest. 2 years later, in 2010, United joins forces with Continental. And in 2011, Southwest merged with AirTran. And most recently, the Justice Department, the same Justice Department that is now investigating the airlines for price fixing, allowed the merger of American Airlines and U.S. Airways. Now, these 4 major airlines make up a total of 80% of the seats on domestic flights. Joining us now to break down the investigation, whether or not it will have any impact the next time you buy a ticket, is Gary Leff, renowned travel expert and author of the View from the Wing travel blog. Gary, appreciate you joining us. The past couple of years, the airlines have had record profits. So the question is, did they learn from their past mistakes and have gotten better? Nothing wrong with that. Or are they doing something wrong here to keep the number of seats on popular routes out of Austin and other cities low?
Well, good morning, Leland. I think the first thing to understand is it's entirely possible that somebody has done something wrong. That's not really the driver of the higher prices, and the investigation isn't going to really do anything to change those prices. We're going to have to wait for the investigation to play out. That'll take 2, 5, maybe even more years before anything does come out, and there could be something embarrassing to one of the major airlines. But really, the reason that we're seeing higher prices is because if you go back to 2010, when prices were lower, now they had dropped. We're really at pricing that was like what we saw in 2007, 2008, and 9. The prices have gone up in more recent time because planes are full. Airlines were able to reduce capacity, but they had to. That's because fuel prices were high and people weren't flying during the recession. So they were losing hundreds of millions of dollars even a quarter, and so they had to do something to survive. Now we're actually seeing the airlines increasing their capacity somewhat. They're competing much more aggressively. Delta's going after Alaska and Seattle. United's putting bigger planes across the Atlantic on many routes. American is opening up many routes to Asia. So they are going to be competing more aggressively. You look at Southwest and American in Dallas growing their flights and driving down prices. Well, so it's a little bit ironic, the timing.
No, you make a good point about the timing. All of a sudden now you have all this shift and now the Justice Department, after approving all those mergers, is coming back. Something else that caught our eye is that JetBlue recently announced that they're going to be one of the last major airlines to now charge for bag fees. It's only Southwest that has free bags. And if you look at some of the other airlines that are charging, Ryanair charges for reprinting boarding passes, which a lot of people think is crazy. And we also put together some of the things that Spirit Airlines charges for. You want to take a carry-on bag, $35 to $100 for that. They've eliminated their 1-800 number, and you got to pay to call them. You want a gate agent to print out your boarding pass, that's $10. As we see these fees from folks like Spirit, the ultra-low fare carriers, or all of a sudden we're going to have to start paying these fees on United and American coming up in the next couple of years, you think?
I mean, there are certain things that we do pay fees for. You pay fees for seat assignments if you want to get the better seat, an aisle seat or a window seat, or have your seat assigned before the airport. And that's often true, not just checked bags. But there are things that are either limited in availability, and so the airlines have figured out they can charge more for things that people desire more. Or there are things like checked bag fees that not everyone uses checked bags, and at the same time, by moving certain things out of the price of the ticket, they're able to save significantly on the domestic ticket taxes. Anything in the ticket domestically is taxed at 7.5%. Move things outside of the ticket, and they're saving on that tax, as well as generating some incremental revenue. I don't think we're going to see boarding pass fees among the major airlines. Spirit, Allegiant, these domestic carriers have real niches, and what they're able to do is cause people to behave in a way that limits their costs and expedites their process. So people that are exceptionally price sensitive get this very low price in order, but impose much less cost on the carrier. It's a different business model than the major airlines.
Different business model, and at least Spirit seems to be doing pretty well at it. Allegiant as well. Gary Leff, view from the wing. Appreciate your insights today, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Leland. Appreciate it.